What if I told you that somewhere in a small town in rural Louisiana, a 17-year-old girl looked into a mirror one night, and the reflection that looked back at her was not her own. And the worst part? She didn't even scream, because whatever was staring back at her pressed its finger to its lips, like it was telling her to stay quiet. Emma was a completely normal teenager, honor student, 3 best friends, never believed in ghosts, never watched horror movies. But on the 3rd night in that house, she woke up at 3:17 a.m. Exactly 3:17. And she didn't know why. She said the room felt thick, like the air had weight to it, like something was pressing down on the whole house. She looked at the mirror, and her reflection was standing 2 steps closer than she was. She told her mother the next morning. Her mother said she was half asleep, dreaming. Emma believed her. She went back to school. She laughed with her friends. She was fine for exactly 6 days. On the 7th night, she woke up again. 3:17 a.m. This time the reflection was at the glass, hands pressed flat against the inside of the mirror, mouth moving, saying something Emma could not hear. She ran. Her parents called the priest. The priest walked into the room, saw the mirror, and walked right back out. He told her parents, "And I want you to really hear this," he said. "Whatever is in that glass has been there a very long time. It found the girl because the girl found it. You need to destroy it. Not sell it. Not donate it. Destroy it." They burned the mirror in the backyard at dawn. Emma Calloway is 33 years old today. She refuses to have mirrors in her home. Any mirrors. Anywhere. And she told one journalist, just one, that on the night they burned it, she saw her reflection in the fire, still pressing its hands outward, still mouthing those same silent words. She never found out what it was trying to say. Maybe that's a good thing. Three college students in Salem, Massachusetts thought they had found an old witch's spell book at a yard sale. They thought it was a prop, a decoration, something to laugh about over drinks. They performed one ritual, just one, for fun. 2 of them ended up in the hospital within 48 hours. The 3rd one was never the same again. And to this day, she refuses to talk about what she saw when the candle went out. October 2014. Salem, Massachusetts, a city that already has enough darkness in its history. 3 junior-year students at Salem State University, we'll call them Jess, Danny, and Rachel, were walking through a weekend yard sale when Danny spotted it. A leather-bound book. No title on the cover. Inside, handwritten pages in a language none of them recognized. Diagrams. Symbols. Instructions. The woman selling it charged them $2. When Danny reached out to hand her the money, the woman grabbed his wrist, looked him dead in the eye, and said, "Don't finish the last page." Then she let go, like nothing had happened. They laughed the whole drive home. That night, with wine and candles and zero respect for what they were holding, they opened the book. They read the ritual aloud. They drew the circle on the floor of Rachel's apartment with chalk. They finished the last page. For about 30 seconds, nothing happened. Then Jess started laughing. Danny said it didn't sound like her laugh. It sounded like her laugh played backwards, same rhythm, wrong direction. Rachel said the temperature in the room dropped so fast she could see her breath. Then Jess stopped, looked at them both, and said in a voice that was perfectly calm, "Something came in." She passed out. Danny started screaming and couldn't stop. He had no idea why, couldn't explain it, just said there was a pressure behind his eyes like something was trying to look out through them. Both were hospitalized. Jess with a fever of 106. Danny with a complete psychological break his doctors could not explain. Rachel didn't go to the hospital. She sat in the apartment all night, alone, with whatever had come in. She burned the book at 6 a.m. She never spoke about what happened between midnight and dawn. Not to police. Not to her friends. Not to a therapist, though she saw one for 4 years after. The only thing she ever said publicly was this. The woman at the yard sale knew. She tried to warn us. I think she was the only one who actually understood what was in that book. And I think she was relieved when we took it away from her. Think about that. Someone was so desperate to get rid of this thing, that they sold it for $2 to strangers. And we still don't know where she got it. In 1998, a desperate father in rural Mississippi stood at a crossroads at exactly midnight and made a deal. His daughter was dying. Doctors had given her 3 weeks. She survived. She's alive today, perfectly healthy. And every single person who was present at her deathbed, every nurse, every doctor, every family member, has died since then. Every single one. Her father died last. Robert Marsh was 41 years old and had nothing left to lose. His daughter Claire, 8 years old, had been diagnosed with an aggressive brain tumor. They lived in Claiborne County, Mississippi, small community, deep roots, old beliefs. His neighbor, an elderly man named Silas, who everyone in town called the root worker, came to Robert one night and said 6 words. I know someone who makes trades. Robert didn't believe in any of it. But when you're a father watching your little girl disappear, you don't need to believe. You just need to try. Silas drove him to a crossroads 12 miles outside of town. Dead flat. No street lights. No houses. Just 2 dirt roads crossing each other under a Mississippi midnight sky. Silas told him to stand in the center. To say what he wanted out loud. To offer something in return. Robert stood there alone for 20 minutes in the dark. And then, he later told his pastor, who was the only person he ever told, something arrived. He said it didn't walk up to him. It was just suddenly there. He couldn't see it clearly. He said it felt tall and old. Older than anything he had ever been near. He asked for his daughter's life. He doesn't remember what he offered. That's what haunted him the most. He knows he said something. He knows terms were agreed to. But the memory of what he gave away was simply gone by the time he got back in the car. Claire's tumor was gone by morning. Not shrinking. Not responding to treatment. Gone. Her doctors used the word impossible in her chart, which is not a word doctors use. Over the next 19 years, every person who had been in that hospital room the night before Claire's miracle died. A nurse, 34, aneurysm. A doctor, 52, car accident. An aunt, 61, cancer. Claire's mother, 44, fell downstairs. 11 people total. Gone. Robert Marsh died in 2017. Natural causes, officially. He was 60 years old. In his final week, he told his pastor that he finally remembered what he had offered at the crossroads that night. He had offered everyone who loved her. Claire Marsh lives alone. Has never married. Has kept every single person at a distance her entire adult life. Some people think she's cold. Antisocial. Broken by grief. I think she knows exactly what she is. And she's trying to protect whoever is left. Now look, if this didn't scare you. I don't know what will. But if it did, if something in these stories felt a little too real, a little too close, subscribe to Midnight Masquerade right now. Turn on every notification. Because I promise you, what's coming next is darker. It's deeper. And it is so much worse. Don't say I didn't warn you.